दिस इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट टॉपिक. मग आपल्या ऑर्गॅनिक केमिस्ट्रीमध्ये या टॉपिकचे इम्पॉर्टन्स काय आहे किंवा त्याचे इंट्रोडक्शन किंवा हेट्रोसायक्लिक कंपाऊंड्स कोणाला म्हणायचं हे थोडंसं आपण बघूया. मीन बाय हेट्रोसायक्लिक कंपाऊंड्स आपण कोणाला म्हणतो. तर लेट अस सी अ सिंपल एक्झाम्पल. बेंझीन इज एक्झाम्पल ऑफ सायक्लिक कंपाऊंड. We know that this benzene is made up of carbon. That compound is called as the carbocyclic compound. Means here there are 6 carbon atoms and they are connected, and there is a cycle of that 6 carbon atom, and such compounds are called as the homocyclic compounds. याला आपण homocyclic किंवा carbocyclic compounds असंही म्हणतो आहोत. But suppose one of the carbon atom is replaced by nitrogen. Here one carbon atom is replaced by nitrogen, then that compound becomes heterocyclic compound. That compound is called heterocyclic compound. The name of that particular compound is a pyridine, and it having one heteroatom. Heteroatom means atom other than carbon. That compound, that cyclic compound having one nitrogen atom, one heteroatom, and therefore it is an example of heterocyclic compound. Now consider one more example. Here also, this is 5-membered cyclic compound, and that compound also having one sulfur instead of carbon. Carbonच्या ऐवजी यामध्ये एक सल्फर ॲटम आहे, and that compound is also called heterocyclic compound. Consider one more example. Here again 5-membered cyclic compound having oxygen atom. Means here also there is one heteroatom. Heteroatom means atom other than carbon. For example, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, etc. And here again example, suppose that cyclic compound, 6-membered cycle having 2 nitrogen atom, and that compound is also example of heterocyclic compound. Then again example, here also this is example of heterocyclic compound. There is 1 nitrogen atom. Okay, now this compound is pyridine. Then second one is the thiophene. Then this one is the furan. Then this one is the quinoline, and last one is the pyrimidine. These are the examples of heterocyclic compound. Now, how will you define heterocyclic compound? आपण कसं त्याला define करूया? Yes, these are the examples of cyclic compound, and they contain at least one heteroatom. The cyclic compound is having at least one heteroatom. Heteroatom means other than carbon. It may be nitrogen, oxygen, or sulfur. Then that cyclic compounds are called heterocyclic compound. And here heterocyclic chemistry is one of the important branch of organic chemistry, and that heterocyclic compounds is one of the important class of organic compound. Now let us see what is the importance of that heterocyclic compound, or what is the importance of heterocyclic chemistry. As I said, that heterocyclic chemistry is a branch of organic chemistry, and also it having a touch with the drug chemistry and biochemistry. What is the reason? Because so many drugs, heterocyclic chemistry is a branch of organic chemistry, and it having a touch with drug chemistry and biochemistry. What is the reason? Because so many drugs, so many medicines, they having heterocycle as a part of their structure. कितीतरी असे मेडिसिन्स आहेत की ज्यामध्ये हेट्रोसायक्लिक कंपाऊंड्स असतात त्यामध्ये, किंवा हेट्रोसायक्लिक रिंग त्यामध्ये असतात. ऍज वेल ऍज सो मेनी बायोमॉलिक्युल्स कंटेन heterocycle as a part of structure, and therefore I said heterocyclic chemistry is having touch with drug chemistry and biochemistry. So let us see some application. Yes, that heterocyclic compounds are present in the alkaloids. Heterocycles also present in some vitamins, then hormones, then biomolecules like RNA and DNA, then also hemoglobin. Hemoglobin also contains heterocycle, then chlorophyll, and so many synthetic and natural drugs contains heterocyclic compound as a part of their ring. And therefore, this heterocyclic chemistry, that heterocyclic compound having wide applications in our organic chemistry, in medicinal chemistry also, and also in biochemistry. And therefore, we are going to discuss in detail about that heterocyclic chemistry. Let us see some application in detail. We know that, okay, this is the biomolecules RNA and DNA, and this is the content of that biomolecule uracil. And that uracil is also example of heterocycle because there is a 2 nitrogen atom in the uracil. This is the pyrimidine ring actually. And therefore, this is again example of biomolecule having heterocycle. Then this is the guanine, and guanine also having heterocyclic ring in its structure. Consider another example. Yes, these are the green leaves, and we know that green leaf contains chlorophyll, and this is the structure of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll having nitrogen heteroatom, and this is the heterocyclic ring, 5-membered heterocyclic ring. Here also this is heterocyclic ring, and thus chlorophyll also contains heterocycle as a part of the ring, and therefore heterocyclic compounds are having a wide application in biochemistry because they are present in so many biomolecules. Consider another example. This is hemoglobin, and hemoglobin also having actually a part of blood, and that hemoglobin also having heterocycle in its structure. This is the structure of that hemoglobin. Okay, and thus so many biomolecules having heterocycle as a part of their ring. Consider some examples of natural drugs, natural products which having heterocycles in their structure. Okay, this is actually photograph of cinchona tree. Cinchona tree having quinine. This is the structure of quinine. It is having pyridine rings as a heterocycle, and that quinine having antimalarial property. Means this is a natural compound found in cinchona tree. Now consider one more example. Here this is opium poppy, and this contains codeine, and codeine having analgesic property. Analgesic means it having painkiller property. It gives relief from the pain. Okay, and this is the structure of that codeine actually, and it is also example of heterocycle. Okay, now consider one more example, the Rauwolfina serpentina. Again, here this is the structure of that particular content which having medicinal property. Yamade. Okay, this is the compound. Actually, example of again heterocyclic compound, and there is oxygen atom, nitrogen atom as a hetero atom, and they are the part of cycle. Okay, these are the examples of some natural compound. Now let us see examples of synthetic drugs, means which have prepared in laboratory, and they are also heterocyclic in nature. Consider example of diazepam. Okay, diazepam is example of anti-anxiety drug, and this is the structure of diazepam, again having heterocyclic ring in its structure. Then next one is the metronidazole, a simple example of antibiotic actually, and this is the structure of metronidazole, 5-membered nitrogen heterocycle. Then next one, oxaprozine. Oxaprozine, actually this is NSAID, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. It also having oxygen and nitrogen heterocycle. Therefore, that heterocyclic compounds having wide applications in medicinal chemistry. Cancer medicinal chemistry मध्ये खूप importance आहे. Classification. Let us see classification, and it is based on two different modes. First mode is based on nature of heteroatom. That heterocyclic compounds are classified into three types. One is the oxygen heterocycle, then nitrogen heterocycle, and third one is the sulfur heterocycle. Suppose heterocyclic compound having oxygen atom, then it is oxygen heterocycle. Example is the furan, well-known example. Then pyran, 6-membered compound having oxygen atom, depending upon size of the ring. 5-membered heterocycle. This is example of 5-membered heterocycle, furan. Then thiophene, then pyrrole, again pyrazole, then here this one is the imidazole, and 1, 2, 3 triazole. These are the examples of 5-membered heterocycle. Then again that 5-membered heterocycles are sub-classified into two types. One is the 5-membered heterocycle having one heteroatom, means they contain one heterocyclic atom, oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, etc. And another class is the 5-membered heterocycle which having 2 or more heteroatom. Now here pyrazole having 2 nitrogen atom, imidazole also having 2 nitrogen atom, that triazole having 3 nitrogen atom. Thus that 5-membered heterocycles are classified into two types, containing one heteroatom and containing 2 or more heteroatom. Okay, this is the first class 5-membered heterocycle. Then second one is the 6-membered heterocycle. Actually, pyridine is example of 6-membered heterocycle. How many atoms are present in the cycle? Total atoms present in the cycle. Here, that cycle contains 5 carbon atom, and one nitrogen atom. This total there are 6 atoms. Therefore, it is called 6-membered heterocycle. Okay, pyridine is the example. Then pyrimidine is also 6-membered heterocycle. Again, that 6-membered heterocyclic compounds are classified into 2 types. त्याचं पुन्हा 2 पद्धतीने classification होतं. One is the 6-membered heterocycle having 1 heteroatom. This is the first type. Then second, 6-membered heterocycle having 2 or more heteroatom. जर 6-membered heterocycle मध्ये एक heteroatom असेल, for example pyridine, then it related to the first type. And suppose it having 2 nitrogen atom or 3 atom, then this is the second class, pyridine and pyrazine. Then next one is the condensed heterocycle. Suppose heterocyclic ring is condensed with another aromatic ring. For example, quinoline. Here this pyridine ring is condensed with another benzene ring. Then it is called condensed heterocycle. Quinoline is example of condensed heterocycle. Then isoquinoline. Here just the position of nitrogen is different than quinoline. This is isoquinoline. Then indole is also example. Here that pyrrole ring is condensed with the benzene, and this is indole. And this is the third type of heterocyclic compound, condensed heterocycle. This is just about the classification. We have studied classification of heterocyclic compound on the basis of 2 different modes. First mode is the nature of heteroatom, and second mode is the depending upon the size of ring. Okay, this is just about the classification.